We created a raised garden bed last year. Our cucumbers, cantaloupe, peppers, zinnias, and tomatoes all performed okay, but not great. We soil tested and the soil is very low in phosphorus, potassium, and is adequate in nitrogen. What are some of the best fertilizer options that will stay in the soil long term? Even some of the slow release organic fertilizers I've looked at say to repeat every 4 to 6 weeks during the growing season. I like to add something this fall and winter to start prepping the soil for next year. Thanks. This is Bethany from Johnson City, Tennessee. So yeah, they want to create a raised bed garden, which is good, right? Yep. But they're looking for long-term
Long-term, and he wants to do it this fall.
Right.
So it has to be something that doesn't like quick release over the winter. So, and he's low in phosphorus and potassium.
Phosphorus and potassium.
So for phosphorus, I'd suggest bone meal. Yeah, it's a good organic source of that. And then for the potassium, he could use a he could use organic matter, which has a lot of nutrients in it, you know, that just...
So that's what I was going to mention.
Yeah, a lot of things in the compost. But for the potassium, he could do the compost that has a lot of banana peels in it. I read that banana peels are the highest organic source of potassium. So it's nearly 50% of that banana peel is potassium.
Wow.
So maybe we need to start eating the banana peels instead of the banana. They didn't say anything about that.
Banana's high in potassium.
It is,
Yeah.
it is.
Right.
But you know, seaweed, kelp, wood ash, but go light on the wood ash,
Yeah,
you know.
please.
So there's different organic things that are kind of slow release.
Okay.
So, and then there's also slow release fertilizers that can last up to, the label says to 9 months, but I always kind of take that with a grain of salt because if you read on these slow release fertilizers, it says at certain soil temperatures.
Right, so it's temperature
So,
dependent.
you know, like 70 degrees, when is our soil 70 degrees, you know, in the growing season? Not very much, you know, so they release, in other words, a lot faster.
Right.
You know, with the higher temperatures, the more watering you do. So I think sticking with some of the organic things and reading labels on the slow release to pick something that maybe would be available. Or you could always, again, you know, fertilize in the spring, too.
Right. No, I agree with
Yeah,
that.
and you know, I agree with that. The thing that kind of concerns me about the question, I mean, phosphorus is extremely stable in the soil. As a county agent, I've seen more problems with excessive phosphorus than too little phosphorus.
That was strange to me, too.
So phosphorus is slow release anyway, no matter how you put it out there.
Right.
P is slow release anyway. K, potassium, not quite so much, but much more stable than nitrogen. Nitrogen, which she
Adequate.
says is adequate, it may not be now because nitrogen, 4 to 6 weeks, if you,
gone.
you know, some
It's
of them,
fast.
it's very
Reaches
fast.
out.
Yeah.
So be careful, you know, continued soil test, that's a really good thing, you're doing that. But if you apply fertilizer to get your P and K right, even in the fall, you may have to add some more K, but I doubt that you're going to have to add any P.
Phosphorus, yeah.
any
Usually
phosphorus.
the old garden plots that's been gardened for years and had triple 13 thrown over them continually, they're always high in
build up.
phosphorus and potassium.
And the slow release, I mean, all I'm looking for in a slow release fertilizer is nitrogen because it is so unstable in the soil. So I'm looking for a slow release form of nitrogen, and the osmocotes and the fertilomes, some of the encapsulated ones out there they're coated with a polymer of different thicknesses, and that is what causes them to release slowly over time, and they will work really well too. That, you know, continue, you know, fertilize, get your P and K right, and I don't think you're going to have to do a lot more of that unless you don't ever get it up to the level to medium or
Yeah,
or
it
high
was
level.
kind of a strange question because it's typically you don't get very low P and K
And
then adequate nitrogen.
Right, with adequate,
That's kind of odd.
Different. Hope you enjoyed the video. We would love to get more questions from you. So be sure to leave us some comments.